Welcome to Dizzy Resolve. I'm Dr. Vicky Stewart, a dizziness recovery specialist with over 15 years of experience as a vestibular physiotherapist with a PhD in dizziness disorders. If you're living with chronic dizziness, whether it's vestibular migraine, triple PD, MDDS, anxiety-related dizziness, or something your doctors can't quite explain, you're in the right place. At Dizzy Resolve, we bring together science-backed education, real recovery stories, and a whole person approach. So you can move from confusion and fear to more clarity, calm, and confidence. You'll also hear from a range of experts across medicine, movement, mindset, and more, because lasting healing means looking at the whole picture. Please note, this content is for general education only and is not a substitute for medical advice. So always speak with your healthcare provider before making any changes. Subscribe now and let's change what's possible. Thank you, Kate, for joining me for a chat. I'm particularly excited to chat with you because you were just this shining star in the shift. And I don't mean that necessarily from like where you got to in the shift or anything like that. You were just always engaged with the coaching calls. And whenever I saw you on the screen, I would just see your bright smile and nodding along with me. And I'm like, okay, at least I've got Kate's on board and she hears me and understands what I'm saying. So do you see what I mean? Look at how beautiful her smile is. Anyway, so thank you very much for coming on and chatting, Kate. We are going to go through where you were before in life, even separate than dizziness, and then a little bit about what was life like before you joined the shift, because we've only just finished the shift. It's like, what, 1-2 weeks since we've formally finished the shift. But welcome, Kate. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Can you start by telling us a little bit about, just life in general outside of dizziness, and then we'll get into that.
So I'm 52. I live on a small farm with my family, my husband and 2 kids. I'm a stay-at-home mum. Feel very lucky to be able to do that. And of course now a farmer. So yeah, that's what I do. In terms of me before the shift, I was struggling quite a lot with anxiety and panic attacks. So wasn't really that fun, really. And then dizziness struck, which, I was advised by my gynecologist to take HRT for my dizziness, for my panic attacks and anxiety. I did that and I started getting dizzy. And it just progressed from there, and I had a really scary episode on a 4-lane motorway where I had a huge swirl of vertigo, and of course that put me into a panic and I had to get off the motorway. I was in the fast lane, I had my kids in the car, I had somebody else's kid in the car. I had to get off the motorway, and that just, for me, I just went, I can't drive anymore. I just don't trust myself. I don't know when it's going to hit. So yes, that was a little bit more than you asked for, but
No, that's perfect. And so then, like, from a day-to-day perspective, because when did that happen compared to when you started with the shift in September?
So the dizziness started in July 24, and that incident happened in September 24.
Yep,
So
got it.
Yeah.
So you'd sort of, for that following year before starting the shift, what was, day-to-day life like?
My life became really small. I couldn't drive, so I couldn't drive my kids to school. So we live rurally, so it's, a 15-20 minute drive to school and back. I couldn't visit my friends or family. I couldn't take my kids to the hairdresser. I couldn't take my dogs and cat to the vet, or we used to quite often drive down to Auckland and go and see friends and stuff like that. So that all stopped. Yeah, it became very small.
Yeah. And were you still going to shopping centers and doing any socializing or work? Like, were you limiting yourself with the kids or anything like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't enjoy going to the supermarket. I made myself go because, my husband has a full-time job and picked up the slack. So I was driving the kids everywhere, and so I forced myself to go at least shopping with him, but I couldn't push the trolley. I had to be really careful where I looked in the supermarket. If I went to any shops, for example, if I went to the local chemist, it's really busy. It's the only chemist like locally, and like there's hundreds of, well, not hundreds, but lots of people in there, and the shelves are really full, and I couldn't see anything on the shelves, and I was confused and overwhelmed, and I would have to talk to a pharmacist or something, and it just was like I had to really focus to get the words out, and then really focus to hear the person speaking back to me. So yeah, it wasn't fun. But in terms of how my dizziness was, I couldn't turn fast, so I couldn't do that. I couldn't bend down without dizziness. I couldn't put my neck in certain positions without dizziness. What else did I say here? Yeah, we have a tractor, and I drive the tractor, and I would be dizzy driving the tractor, but I didn't want to stop doing that because, again, it was part of my, commitment to my husband to try to always keep trying. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was funny before we started recording, you were saying, because, I gave you some questions of things that I might ask on this call. And what was your answer to that?
So you asked, one of the questions was, what were your symptoms before you started? And I actually went, oh my gosh, wow, what were they? Because I'd forgotten them. That disappeared. So those things like bending down and turning around and things like that, it's gone. It's not there anymore. I can drive the tractor. I can't drive my car 100% yet. I'm getting there. That's a work in progress, but the change is massive. The life I'm able to live now is so much better. I can go into the chemist. I can see what's on the shelf. I can talk to the pharmacist. I can hear what they're saying. It's just, I can go to the supermarket. I can push the trolley. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Thank
What
you.
sort of things, it's actually funny for me to even ask about your symptoms because you know that that's not really what we talk about in the shift, and like we don't dwell on any of that and go into that, which may seem a little counterintuitive to some people listening, but it works, right?
Yes.
But what sort of people did you see before joining the shift? Like specialists, what things did you try?
So I started out, my doctor said to get to a vestibular physio. So I went to a physio up here who has vestibular training. So she's not a vestibular physio, but that's all I could access locally.
Well, that's really what a vestibular physio is. So
right. Okay. And we did lots of work, and that was quite good. But who else did I see? So I saw different chiropractors who work on different parts of the body, and massage therapist. And then I was finally referred to, I saw optometrist who specializes in vestibular stuff as well. And then I got referred to an ENT. And then I was referred down to the Dizziness clinic in Auckland, which basically just checks that everything works and puts you on a machine and finds out where your dizziness problem is, and then says, here's some exercises, see you later.
Yep.
So, yeah. When the shift came onto my Facebook, because that's how I found you, when the shift came up, my next move was to see a psychologist. So a psychologist who apparently gets people back to work. And I thought, okay, well, that's my next step, because the exercises are not making a difference. I'm not taking that next step. And so, yeah, and I found the shift, and I was a bit, obviously
normal to be hesitant. It's okay. What were your hesitancies?
It's advertised on Facebook and to me, and I'm like, oh, what's that? And so, yeah, but speaking with you, having the clarity call with you, just really, nailed it down for me that the psychologist will help me in some ways, but you are going to help me with the actual problem I have. And that's something I noticed with some of the other participants in the shift who have seen other psychologists and such people, that the shift works differently and it puts a lot of things together that work, which I don't think psychologists necessarily know about or can use the same way that you put them to us.
Yeah. Oh, I just had a conversation recently with Joyce, and she's doing the same sort of conversation, and she had a very similar experience. And it's common. The reason I'm saying that is it's a common conversation I have of people who have either tried psychology already and got some things out of it, but it didn't really change their symptoms. It didn't get them to that next layer. Or they were thinking about starting to bring on a psychologist because they was starting to notice that there was an association and needed some extra help from that side of things. So, your words are going to resonate with other people. So thank you. So once you were there any other hesitations about joining other than not knowing me? And
so I just didn't know if it would work. And I think as well, we talked on the clarity call. I said, is there breathing in it? Because my suspicion was that people said to me, oh, just breathe this way and breathe that way. And that has never worked for me. I've always got more riled up with the breathing than calmed down. So my concern was that it was going to be a lot of breath work. Which obviously breath work is part of it, but it's much more.
Yeah. And then once you got into the shift and you realize, okay, some deep breathing is one thing over here, but there's all this other stuff. Yes. What sort of did you when reflecting on it now, do you look back and you're like, oh gosh, that was something that I never thought would help me, but it's something that I really do take forward and found helpful?
So I do want to talk briefly about the breathing, because I was very like, I don't want to do that. Actually, the breathing has really helped me. Yeah. And the difference with what you are giving people in this is that you get many choices about very different ways of breathing. And before it was just do parasympathetic breathing and then you'll be fine, but it's not. I have 3 ones that I use regularly, and that's like, wow, I wouldn't have got that. Where would I have got that information from? It's comprehensive, but the other things that I really liked are the affirmations. Now, I always thought they were really trite and, like, come on. And it took me a little while just to kind of find the right ones for me.
Yeah.
But I really think, wow, it's actually quite powerful, when you are repeating this back. And the wins, I've got 47 driving wins.
Wow.
So
excellent.
I'm telling myself that when I'm driving, come on, Kate, you've got 47 of these. So
for those who don't know, wins, one of the things that I offer people to do is to collect their wins. So it shifts people's attention away from looking for symptoms and taking note of symptoms, which is often what they've been told to do, like, keep this symptom diary. Well, instead we keep a wins diary, and it's very tailored to you, and it's so 47 driving wins. And what that does in your body is changes where your attention is, and it changes what you believe is possible, because you've now got some proof for yourself in the task that you're trying to achieve. Excellent. And a lot of people say it wasn't not one thing, it's like collectively builds to be this experience. Is that your take as well?
I could probably rave about every single thing that's in the course, but if I'm going to pick the ones that for me I felt made the most impact, it was those. But I think that the other ones are something for me to keep working on, and sometimes things take a little bit of time to crystallize for me, and for what that actually means for me and how to put it into my life. So I just will sit with things for a little while and just see how they fit, really. Yeah.
Yeah, giving you the power to trust in yourself that there's not one, like the shift isn't one model that,
No.
model's the wrong word, but one pro forma of this is exactly what you need to do that's going to suit everybody, because that just doesn't work. Otherwise, if I had that magic one list, I would just give it to everybody and everyone would know it. So we know it's
Yeah.
a little bit more in depth than that. But how did you go with the way that the shift was delivered? Like, because there's some group call component, which some people come to the live calls, some people watch the replays, but how did you find, because I know you were on the calls, how did you find them?
I missed two, but was gutted. But I had other things I had to do.
Yeah.
I just want to say, one of the things I loved about joining the shift was that I got to spend time with other people with not exactly the same problem, but a similar issue. And that is, with dizziness, you can't see it. People can't see what's going on for you. So it's silent, So being with other people was wonderful. And yeah, I was going to say something else, but I don't want to people's privacy, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
What was the question you asked me? I'm so sidetracked.
No, that's all right. No, you're right though, that providing a space where you're all moving forward with the same intention and a similar pace, working towards similar goals, but you having this same invisible condition is key, because you can join free Facebook groups for dizziness, but it's going to be a very different experience when it's not held in a container of what you've been working on. But my question was, how did you find the group calls?
They were really good. I think one of the best things about them was the different sorts of questions that people asked. That I would go, oh wow, that's a really good question, and I do have to say something about you here, Vicky, is that your the course is wonderful, but you are, oh my gosh, I don't know how to put it into words. You have true compassion for people who have this issue, and you speak very gently to them and very encouragingly, and provide them with this really safe environment that whatever goes on for them, you pick them up and move them forward.
Make me cry.
I feel like cry. But I cannot emphasize just how amazing you have been, for everybody who's written in or spoken in the group calls. The compassion is, and your passion for this, and the course that you've put together, it's wonderful. Really, it really is, and it's very special for people to find this. And I hope this helps more people come into your sphere, so that you can help them the way that you've helped me and so many other people.
Oh, well, thank you very much for saying that, because you're right that I am passionate about this work, and I mean business when I want to help people, and I will do whatever I can to make that their reality. Yeah.
You do it with real true compassion as well. There's just such understanding there, really.
Yeah. Thank you. So I know people want to know, what sort of changes did you get? Because we're only 1 or 2 weeks after finishing the shift. So what's your, like, I know there's a lot, but what's your couple, 2, 3 biggest changes you've noticed since doing the shift?
So
Maybe
now where did I write it? Gosh. Okay, so I don't know if I can do 1 or 2. I'm just gonna tell you what is
you do whatever you need to do, Kate.
So I'm look, the most shocking thing to come out of this for me is that I'm off all my anti-anxiety medication. I was trying to taper before this, and I'm off it. It's done. I just don't need it, and I don't want it. I'm also like hardly hardly take anything to sleep at night anymore. I used to take significant amounts of things, and I would be awake in the night, and I'm now down to half a pill, and I wake up in the night, I turn over, and I go back to sleep. That is huge. That is huge. I never thought that would happen. So for me, this is, no, it's not dizziness, but it is an enormous thing for me to come out of this. So I'm also much more relaxed and confident. I feel like I can cope with a flare. So I did have flares before this, and I would just, during the course I would have a little flare, but it was like I just had the ability to go, it's okay, doesn't matter, I'm good.
You've given me goosebumps.
Oh,
And if I ever second guess, like, should I be doing this work, I'm just going to listen back to these type of recordings, because it's very
yeah,
hard.
no, it's absolutely, it's I'm gobsmacked, to be honest. I'm really gobsmacked that I've had that incredible change in myself.
Yeah.
It's
And it's been 10 weeks. We're not talking about 10 months or 10 years. Like it's 10 weeks is what we're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm like, oh, I'm so much better. I'm now going to be a politician or something like that. I mean, I still have little struggles with driving and my subconscious, but I just I can I can succeed because look what I've achieved.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So how does your future look different now compared to, like, if you were here before the shift and you were trying to tell me what your future might be like, and then compare that to what your future looks like now out of your eyes?
So I I, I was pretty hopeless um, before the shift. I was feeling like there was nowhere left for me to go because the medical system had finished with me. Um, yeah, I was pretty hopeless, and I thought this is going to be my life now. And I was trying positive thinking, and I was, you know, trying the technique where you have a thought and you say no, but it just didn't work. Um, although I did try and stay positive for everybody else in my family, because who wants someone moping around feeling sorry for themselves? But inside I was feeling pretty low. And now, I mean, well, I wouldn't say the world is my oyster, but it's definitely opened up. It's yeah, such enormous change can only lead to good things.
Yeah.
It's
It's been such a pleasure. Sorry, you go.
it's just finding what I want to do. It's my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your passion, the joy
Yes. Yes.
that comes next. That's right. There's a reason why other people are still in my world after the shift, to help find that, because somewhere along the lines it gets a little lost when you have to give so much of your trust to the medical system around you and not knowing where it would get you,
Yeah.
how long you'd have to live with the symptoms, etc. But it has been such a pleasure watching your transition, as it is when I watch anyone's transition, because it sometimes feels like I can see the old Kate slipping away as this new one emerges, and it's like this butterfly coming out. And I know that sounds corny, but it really is like talking to a different person by the end, which is really nice. So it's been a pleasure watching. If someone was watching this and they have, they're thinking this sounds like me, the old you, but I'm scared it will not work for me. Like, what would you just want them to know?
I would want them to know that I thought exactly the same thing.
Mm.
There is so much in the shift that you can't or don't know before actually starting it. That there is definitely something in there that will help you, and in all likelihood, it won't be one thing; it will be 3 or 4 things.
Yeah.
It is full of way more than breathing. It is full. It's phenomenal. It really is.
Should be my tagline. The shift, way more than breathing.
Yeah. But it's worth the investment.
Yeah.
I mean, the investment was something that held me up.
Yeah.
But I'm so relieved that yeah, that I decided to do this, and look at me now.
Yeah. Nothing's stop you. Your world's your oyster.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Kate, for coming on. I told you to be a great call. Like, it's just vibrant Kate. So thank you very, very much. And I know that we'll be in contact. So we
Yes.
might do a 6-month update down the track and let everyone bring everyone along your journey.
Absolutely.
Thanks. The information provided in this video is for general educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of your physician or other qualified health professional with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment, and never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because of something you have seen or heard on Dizzy Resolve.